You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Ahead tonight, a bill to protect missing and murdered Native American women is sealed on the day a family celebrates the life of a missing young woman. Plus, officers in Billings were found to be justified in the shooting death of a suspect back in January. So we'll have the latest details on what went down in court. And in Bozeman, two unions made up of firefighters and police officers say they're concerned with how the Gallatin County 911 Dispatch Center is being run. We're going to get to that story in just a moment, but new tonight at 9. 3 students at Sentinel High School have tested positive for whooping cough. The principal sent out a message to parents today. Now staff at the school are trying to determine close contacts and decide on immediate action. Parents should ask their students if they've been given paperwork from a nurse. Then if they have, that student and that parent should go see a healthcare provider. Well, new information surrounding a vote of no confidence in Gallatin County over the 911 Dispatch Center. The issue coming from Bozeman police officers and firefighters. MTN's Cody Boyer explains.
When you lose communications, that opens up mistakes that could potentially be made and result in injuries or deaths.
In the service of saving and protecting lives, time and managing that time is key. Bozeman Police Protection Agency President Anthony Hutchings says that's how the union's conversation began.
What we're looking for is the hard evidence of why are we choosing this route we've been taking when it's not working.
Anthony says the Police Protective Associations and the Firefighters Local 613's letter states and notes several key factors, including understaffing issues with 911 and outdated communication. He does say that this is not a new issue.
The issues that we were experiencing with just inside Bozeman with law enforcement was our radios just weren't getting out, and it was a safety risk.
The letter also states that out of 611 sirens this year, only 129 of those calls met the operation procedure goal of 60 seconds in response time. In part of a statement, County Administrator Jim Dorr said, quote, "A complaint from a labor union is an issue between that group and its employer, and we are not going to get in the middle of that," end quote. Sheriff Brian Gutkin says while the union's concerns are heard, dispatches have been working hard.
The county's in a unique position where we have to worry and work with everyone in the county. That's 22 emergency responding agencies. We can't just be focused on 1 or 2 agencies. We have to be focused on everyone.
He adds while a former Sheriff's Department employee serves as the interim director, the center fully cooperates with all agencies.
He is not in there permanently. I've made that crystal clear since day one. But for him to inherit and step up and take on that challenge, I could not give them enough credit.
While the unions wait for a response, Hutchings says first responders will not falter in doing what they do best.
There won't be any loss of services from us. We're going to keep doing what we do and provide them the best police and fire services that we can for this community.
In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
All right, the unions gave the county a deadline for this Friday, April 26th, to respond. We do have new information tonight when it comes to the disappearance of an 8-year-old Bozeman girl. She missed the bus. Well, parents now claim that this is an ongoing issue with Bozeman schools. That girl was found safe at a friend's home just last night. The school district says there is proper procedures in place, but some parents claim that this wasn't a one-time issue.
As her mom, it's terrifying knowing that my kid could be getting off somewhere and someone else could pick her up. And I guess as a mom, I almost always automatically feel like the worst thing.
Well, Gallatin County says that their agency wasn't notified about her missing until hours after the fact. We did reach out to First Student, that's the bus company. We'll let you know when they respond. New information tonight surrounding a deadly standoff in Shelby as we learn more about the sharing of resources in this situation. Sheriff Donna Witt requested the assistance of the Great Falls High Risk Unit. She says it is a common practice for rural communities to ask for resources they don't typically have. Toole County continues to investigate this deadly shooting that happened in Kevin after the suspect barricaded himself inside of a home in Shelby. Police are waiting on an autopsy to determine what led to the death of a Minnesota man whose truck was found submerged in a river. 58-year-old John MacArthur was found dead in the Missouri River near Craig. MacArthur has an address listed in Cascade, Montana. His body was found in his brand new Toyota truck along with his dog, who also died. Billings police officers are found justified in the shooting death of a 26-year-old man back in January. Police responded to a pawn shop to find Chance Mavity trying to sell stolen guns. Mavity fled on foot, and when officers told him to stop, he fired at officers. That jury deliberated for over an hour. Work on the Bozeman Law and Justice Center will move forward after a lawsuit is finally settled surrounding a ballot initiative dispute. Roger Koopman will get paid $22,000. He brought forth that lawsuit saying the city didn't better educate voters. Koopman says this won't be the end of him fighting similar battles.
Again, I understand you're not admitting you've done anything wrong, and there's nothing in the settlement that really involves anything that, to one degree or another, you haven't already been doing. But we wanted some assurances, and we wanted to see some commitment to perhaps make that process more extensive and more robust.
The city says it's immediately moving forward on its construction. In Helena, Governor Steve Bullock praising the passage of HANA's Act. That bill aims to help the epidemic of missing and murdered Native Americans across Montana. This bill will create a missing persons specialist. The position will oversee entries into a National Crime Information Center database. And Governor Bullock intends to sign other bills addressing this same issue. This legislation coming on a birthday of a missing young Native American woman. We're talking about Jermaine Charlo. Her family and friends reflecting on her day, her 24th birthday. It is the first birthday since she's gone missing. And Charlo, who went missing nearly a year ago. Now, though, law enforcement say very few leads in her case. However, police do say they suspect a possible abduction into sex trafficking. The bill initially proposed as a way to extend the life of the Colstrip power plants could be on its last leg. The bill would give Northwestern Energy control over a power line from Colstrip to Townsend. The main line containing the proposal has been killed. That means the only way something survives is to insert it into another bill.
People are too painted in their corners. I will be surprised if this occurs, and I will be disappointed that it did not, because we could have done well for Montana had we held a different conversation earlier.
If there is any hope for the Save Colstrip bill, they'll have to get something done pretty quick. That's because lawmakers might be ending the session as soon as Thursday. A family-run medicinal marijuana testing facility is the only one of its kind in the Flathead Valley. MTN's Marin Sue shows us how they keep the products safe for consumers.
Humming around me is over $1 million worth of equipment, including this one, which tests for pesticides in quality-controlled medical marijuana.
3 people is very much a very small family operation. Now we have 14 people on staff.
Ron Brost, director of Stillwater Labs, started this business with his family, and as he says, it's rapidly grown. With a background in chemistry, Brost and his staff test batches of medical marijuana to ensure no contamination and that patients receive medicine with the correct potency. And he tells us it's a science.
It needs to be tested for potency, so how effective is it, what chemicals, what materials are in it. We have to test for contaminants, pesticides especially, heavy metals. We have to test for mycotoxins.
Wanting to ensure the correct and best quality product, Nathan Costed tells me the team was thrilled to hear the outcome of a Senate bill that no longer requires patients to be tied to one provider.
The ability for patients to have mobility and access to their medicine more freely. It was a what's called vertical integration system prior to that, which was harder for the patients, especially in rural Montana.
Costed explains this helps patients who are outside of their community or who cannot contact their provider to get access to their medicine. Stillwater Labs is the only marijuana testing facility in the Flathead and one of 4 in the state. Stillwater Labs tells me that in the future they want to set up a satellite office in Helena, similar to the one that they have already set up here in Olney. I'm Marin Sue, MTN News.
All right, Stillwater Labs offers lab tours to the public as well. All right, so take note, Montana travelers. It seems that Missoula has the lowest airfares in Montana. That's according to the Bureau of Transportation. Airfare dropped 11% in the last quarter of last year. That meant for a direct savings to passengers of over $5 million. Missoula Airport Director Chris Jensen says the low price boiled down to one main factor: competition. An update tonight on the plowing of the Going to the Sun Road in Glacier National Park. Each day crews getting just a little bit closer to opening the park for visitors for the 2019 season. The west side crews are approaching Haystack Creek, just west of the Weeping Wall. That's about 4.6 miles west of Logan Pass. Crews are also advancing up the east side of the road, already to Sayou Bend. A Carroll College alum is the school's first ever graduate to receive a prestigious award, the Fulbright Award. Sierra Powell will serve as a cultural ambassador in the Canary Islands starting in September. She graduated from Carroll just last May, studying international relations and Latin American studies.
Aside from being an English teaching assistant abroad, we're required to do something more in terms of community engagement, and I pledged to myself that I would really work hard to volunteer my time to the global migration crisis that's relevant worldwide, but in Europe right now.
All right, good for you, Sierra. She is born in Miles City, so from that side of our state, graduated from high school in Billings, is a first-generation college student as well. Well, still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news, we're going to show you how a Missoula teen is managing her diabetes through dance with a little help from technology. But it was a beautiful day across much of Montana. You know that. I don't have to tell you. Bob McGuire tells us, though, if it's going to stay that way when we come back.